to start one, how she started hers, why she got involved when she avoided it for decades. Nabia, we have been friends for many years. She is not only a woman of faith, but she's just an incredible person. And so I just wanted to bring her on today in this Harry's 100 video live stream personal challenge. 30 days, 100 videos, live streams. So, Nabia, this is video number 48 for me right now. Thank you so much for coming on, Nabia. I appreciate you taking the time.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Okay, so let's jump into this. Okay, so here it is. You have avoided this, jumping in on a home-based business for decades.
Yes, I have.
Then what was it that kind of got you sparked to where you even started considering it in order to finally take a move and then, open up a home-based business?
Well, like you said, I avoided it like the plague.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want any part of it. And,
Right.
there's usually the top three reasons why people will say no is I don't have the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's too expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do sales.
Right. What were your top? Was that your top three?
Oh, those are definitely my top three.
Okay.
And honestly, I just wasn't interested.
Mm-hmm.
And it could have been a product that, was looking interesting to me. Like, yeah, I might want to use it, but not
Mm-hmm.
sell it. And so, um, when my friends, because, they always go to your friends and family, came to me with it, I said, no, I'm good. And I must have said no about three times. And
Okay.
so right before I left Maui to go visit in Colorado Springs,
Mm-hmm.
I was invited to a training. It wasn't let's see how many people we can get started. It was a literal training, but
Right.
I didn't know that's what it was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I went. There were people there that I knew, some that I didn't. And when I saw the opportunity and I saw the products, same products I said no to,
Mm-hmm.
there was just something different. And I will tell you, when I first heard the name and they were telling me, oh, this stuff is all natural. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
the name doesn't sound all natural to me.
Right.
So that was another thing. And I said, you know what, maybe, yeah, maybe. But then, how you
Okay.
get
So
started.
let
Go ahead.
me interrupt you real quick because
Okay.
you transitioned from okay, yeah, it doesn't sound natural to okay, well, yeah, maybe. What was that pivoting point for you to even say, yeah, maybe? What was that?
Well, at the training, not only did they talk about the products, and I'm like you, I'm an ingredients person,
Mm-hmm.
and so uh, I actually became vegan a week before Thanksgiving,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
I became plant-based a week before Thanksgiving.
Well, Thanksgiving, what a time to do that, I mean, it would make more sense the week after, I
Yeah,
mean, you,
there's like a whole story with that too.
okay.
And
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah, I began going plant-based a week before and just being concerned about my health and everything. And I mean, I've been in the fitness space for over 20 years
Right.
and I've seen things come and go. And
You were like a personal trainer before, right?
I was, yes,
Okay.
I was a personal trainer.
Mhm.
I, I mean, I worked at really big names back in the day.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
I mean, I would do up to 21 classes a week as an aerobics instructor.
Wow.
And so, and 17 of those classes were mine. So
Wow.
the others I was covering, but 17 were mine
Mhm,
in different locations when I lived back east.
mhm,
So I go to the training, not knowing it's a training. So they kind of just like threw the
mhm.
bag over my head. Um, I loved what I heard.
And drive off.
He was just like grabbed me and
Am
just
I?
threw me in a black van. So, So I'm in the black van. I got the bag
Mhm.
over my head. They pull it off, and I look around. I'm like, wow.
Guns, it's like, militia, okay, go ahead.
Wow, this is really good. Yeah, so I so
Mhm,
I looked at the ingredients. I looked at it, the opportunity. I looked at the residual income, and I
mhm,
think we all understand residual income.
right,
So, and residual income is a beautiful thing. I totally believe in sleep coins. I love that.
okay,
That's how I refer to it.
right,
And and I saw that this was a family, a team,
mhm,
where
mhm,
they would literally work with you. You weren't just like pushed out there. You get excited and you're like,
mhm,
"Oh God, I don't know what to do." And
mhm,
so I like the camaraderie. I love the teamwork. I
mhm,
loved everything, the products themselves. And I when they said, you know, I remember them talking about third party testing.
mhm,
I
mhm,
recall them talking about a gentleman called Dr. Joshua Plant, who,
mhm.
which is interesting because he
Oh,
helped.
appropriate, I know, yeah,
Yes, yeah,
plant-based, yeah, okay,
Plant,
interesting,
Plant,
okay. Mhm,
and
mhm,
so and just listen to a little bit of his background as well. And so I said, oh, okay, so this is right up my plant based alley, and
mhm.
um, I said, okay, all right, and I thought about it, and then about a few days later, I actually got started.
So fast forward, okay, so you went from not even it remotely being on your radar to you now starting. Now, what was the thing that stood out to you the most? Because, I mean, you had to overcome quite a few things to override your natural inclination, which is to avoid it at all costs.
Yes.
What was the catalyst? Because, I mean, it had to be something pretty phenomenal for you to say, okay, I will consider this. And I'm sure that it had to be more than just ingredients.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Mhm,
Because if you look around, you can go to a nice little farmer's market and
mhm.
find what you need. And so I found out that there were just some things happening internally
Okay.
with me.
Okay.
Uh, and the whole block that you have of, well, I don't want to sell. I mean, and I will tell you honestly, God was like, but you're already a salesperson.
True story. Hmm.
You're live every day.
Yeah.
You're selling me. You're representing me.
Yeah.
You are, the gospel is the product.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so I had to think about that. And I was like, yeah, I'm live every day. And so there's a comfortability issue.
Hmm.
And I remember I used to pick up my phone and when I was on Periscope and it's like there's the go live button.
Hmm.
And you want to hit the go live button. You have all this stuff you want to say and share,
Hmm.
but something happens between what's up here and the
Hmm.
go live button.
Yeah.
And I realized that this is the season of the jump.
Mm. Hmm.
I realized that in order for me to get to my goal, I had to do something different.
Hmm.
I realized that I had to step out of my comfortability, uh,
Hmm.
that uncomfortable place and step into something brand new,
Hmm.
but yet not brand new. Am
Hmm.
I? Is this a situation where I'm not familiar?
Right.
No, I know fitness.
Hmm. Hmm.
I know people.
Hmm.
I talk to people all the time.
Okay, so let me cut in here. So
Yeah.
you, okay, you were teaching Hebrew,
Hmm.
like biblical history. I mean, correct me if I'm saying things out of order,
Hmm.
or in the wrong way, but biblical history, Hebrew. I remember you've got like what 36, 38 different Bibles, manuscripts, and all of that. Ancient texts and whatnot. So you kind of deep dive into the whole scribal, aspect of things. You are a researcher at heart, and So going from teaching, around faith-focused content,
Mhm.
and not that you've left that, but how do you transition from that into what you're currently doing, around your home-based business? What was that jump like?
Well, I don't even want to make it sound that simple, but it's as
Mhm.
simple as, well, we're eating anyway.
Okay. That makes sense.
We're eating anyway.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
We're always changing what's in our cupboards, what's in our fridges.
Mhm.
And, whether it is from fast food to organic to, uh, plant based to
Mhm.
whatever it is, there's always some interchange, there's always some dance in our refrigerator going
Mhm.
on. There's
Mhm.
always this, I want to lose 20 pounds, 50 pounds, or what have you.
Right.
And so I said, well, this is like my personal space,
Mhm.
but at the same time, I've shared my personal spaces. I remember when I first started going organic,
Mhm.
I told everybody.
Mhm.
I didn't monetarily benefit, but I still told people because I wanted them to benefit.
Right.
Because our food system is broken.
Mhm.
And so we talked a lot about that. And some people were like, no, it costs too much. And then I'd say something like, well, it's a lot less expensive than your medical bill would be.
Mhm. Mhm.
1 and 1 is 2 all day long. And
Crucial.
and those same people would come to me a year later, 6 months later, 3 months later.
Mhm.
I'm going organic.
Mhm.
So that was a space and time that was preparing me for later, and I didn't know, because a lot of times when people say no, they don't want to get into this because they don't want the rejection.
Mhm.
They want that when I talk to you about
That's
this
a good
product
point.
today, you get started today. And
You
it's
said something there. I need to stick a pin in that real quick.
sure.
You said something that is very critical. I was talking to a friend of ours in common, matter of fact,
Mhm.
TC. Okay, and
Yes.
we were talking about how it's not that folks are, because we were talking about judgment and things like that, and how folks, really don't want the judgment. And I said, it's not really the judgment that throws people. It's
Mhm.
what they believe is on the other side of that judgment, which could potentially be rejection. So
Mhm.
they want to avoid the rejection or the potential rejection at all costs because they don't want that feeling of being discarded. So they
Mhm.
will avoid doing whatever the task is. You can fill in the blanks in order to avoid being rejected.
Mhm.
So if you were judged, like if you're in your family, we get judged all the time.
All the time.
But we don't avoid our family because it's like, yeah, I'm judged all the time, but I'm not going to get rejected. I'm still going to be related no matter what they say because
Mhm.
we still carry the same blood in our veins. So
Absolutely.
say what you want, still related to you. Good luck with that one.
Yeah.
But it's not the same thing when it comes to people because we don't know on the other side of that rejection. Do they just excommunicate us? Do they cut us off? And
Mhm.
now we no longer have the relationship that we wanted to hold on to? So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because that's the big thing. You don't want to be rejected.
Hmm.
And but you go to a job, they don't hire you, you've been rejected.
Yeah.
You invite somebody out for a date, they say no, you've been rejected.
Hmm.
You know, little kids, oh yeah, you want to come play with me? No, it's my ball. You've just been rejected.
And for some reason, kids don't care. They just keep on going.
And then they don't,
Yeah.
that children, they got it together.
Yeah.
They're just like, well, so, and
Yeah.
then they're over it in
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
But something happens with adults where we don't want to put ourselves in front of
Hmm.
it are. We don't want to do that.
What do you
And
think it is for adults as opposed to children? Do you think it's that we have such track records or anchors that are connected to rejection and that we feel it different, like we make it mean something more than what it actually is,
Uh,
or do you think it's something else?
I think it's the filters that we have,
Hmm.
and it starts from the being a child, obviously, and
Hmm.
so the child grows up, and it's compounded, compounded, compounded. You're a teenager, then that's another whole set of
Hmm.
rejection, being in cliques. Oh, they don't like me. They don't like the way I look. So that then that happens. You get pigeonholed in certain spaces, and then when you become an adult,
Hmm.
you now you're all hijacked up here, and
Hmm.
so those filters, and the filters can come from your parents, from
Hmm.
your siblings, from
Hmm.
your experiences. And so now instead of just being who we authentically are supposed to be, we've come with all of this, what we call baggage.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so, and that's the difference between someone that's a self-motivator, no matter what you say, no matter what you do. I know what my end state is. I'm going for it. And those people are beautiful when we can find them. However, there's a higher percentage of people that they let all of their experiences mold them into someone else, or rather, I want to say, depress them
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
some other person.
Right.
And these are the same people who they come to God, they're still broken.
Hmm.
Pastor
Hmm.
lays their hands on them, they're the same person when they get up off the floor, because their internals are not being dealt with.
Right.
And so, they may be great administrators, they may be great orators, they may be great writers,
Hmm.
whatever it is that they're doing, but something happens when they get to the place called unknown,
Hmm.
uncertainty. And and then they get shrouded into this space. And so when you introduce them to something new that's going to set them free,
Yes.
it's like the children of Israel. Give us free.
He took us back to Amistad.
Amistad.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So,
Exactly.
so let me
Amistad.
let everybody know. Okay. Unlike the title says, for some reason I forgot to hit the update button. So this is not the video where I'm playing chess with my second born child.
Oh no, no.
I am interviewing Nabia about Yehuda. She's a good friend of mine, and she's also a owner of a home-based business. And we're talking about home-based businesses, how she got involved in something that she avoided for decades, and also, what you can do with this information. Because really, when it comes down to it, especially in our day and age right now, if you do not have a home-based business, you are leaving a lot of money on the table. There are so many tax benefits to just having a home-based business. There's
Yeah,
so many write-offs. There's something like 475 or so write-offs that you get right off the bat by having a home-based business. So, there's a statement that I happen to love, and the statement is, it's not how much money you make that's important, it's how much money you keep. And so when you're dealing with wealth, the wealthy know how to keep their money. The
absolutely.
wealthy know how to take advantage of the tax code in order to make sure that when money comes in the door, they can leverage that money and they can pay themselves in a number of different ways and segment out how that money is allocated so that they don't have to give it to Uncle Sam. Instead,
Exactly.
they pour it right back into their family unit. They know how to partition that money off to their children in order to make sure that their children are able to be well established and pay their own way while they're using tax-free money. So
Right.
the home-based business model is such an important model for everybody in the free enterprise system to have. And if you don't have it, you're missing out. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to just kind of recap
No, that's good. No,
yeah,
that's good.
and who this is that I'm talking to right now and
Yeah.
why you should be paying very close attention to this interview. So Navia, okay, back to what we're talking about. So,
Yeah.
so now you're dealing with the internal stuff. You're dealing with how folks they carry all this baggage, and this baggage is what is causing them to see and respond, or I should say, actually react to life circumstances because they're seeing it in a way where it may not necessarily be. But because of how they're interpreting it, then they're basing all of the movements, their trajectory is based on the things that they're thinking that the stimuli needs.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and it's because of the baggage, it's because of their thought pattern that
Mm-hmm.
they can't see what the cash flow quadrant is and how to move
Mm-hmm.
from one side to the other. They don't
Mm-hmm.
understand how if you're a self-employed,
Right.
or E, an employee, how do I even get to the other side of the quadrant to be
Mm-hmm.
an investor or to become a business owner?
Right.
You have to have a certain type of mindset. And a lot of people get caught up in well, if I do this and I do this and I do this, then I can, but it's not what you do, it's what you become.
Right. Right.
And a lot of people don't understand how to make the leap. And you can be a self-employed person,
Mm-hmm.
but you gotta have your eye on, okay, I need to be an I need to be
Mm-hmm.
either an investor or
Mm-hmm.
I need to be a B, I need to be a business. Not
Mm-hmm.
I have my own business, as in I'm self-employed. The
Right.
taxes, I remember when I was doing my taxes, I said, wait a minute, why do I owe this much taxes?
Mm-hmm.
The taxes that you have to pay for self-employment is ridiculous.
The tax code is set up for yeah, they're set up for the business on the home-based
Yeah,
business for the
yeah.
corporation. It is set up for those organizations to win, and there's a very valid reason why.
Mhm.
Because for one, the lifeblood of every economy that is flourishing is the home-based business. It is the business owner, those who open enterprises that provide a solution and provide a stream of income for the masses. So
Yeah,
if you have opened up an entity that employs people or that does good in society and all of that, there are some tax breaks for you because that is what keeps the country moving. So
mhm,
it behooves them to have that in that 70,000 page tax code,
yeah.
you know, to have
And the tax code is
benefits
changing all the time.
all the time. And so having the benefits in there in order to support that business owner that is supporting economy. Because
Mhm.
if the business owner isn't supported, and then everybody's relegated to just a 9 to 5, then all of the burden is left on those corporations to take care of everybody. And that's just not sustainable, even though they've got a lot going for them, but it's just not sustainable.
Right.
So, as a business owner, you want to make sure that you have yourself structured in a way that you can take advantage of all the things that
Yeah,
they have set up for you to take advantage of.
yeah. A lot of things that they think are illegal, if I'm doing my taxes in a particular way, they'll be like, "Oh, that's illegal." It's like, no, you just don't know about this.
Correct.
That's
Correct.
all. That's just ignorance.
And Abia, can you tell everybody how to get in contact with you? I mean, unfortunately, since I did not have the right description, I didn't hit that update, it didn't put in the link. So when we come back, it'll be there.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, you can reach out to me at there's I you can
It's facebook.com/catch your life.
catch your vibe.
CATCHYO and then LIFE.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
remember?
I
Yay.
remember. I mean, it's
Yeah,
amazing.
because I have so many, I'm just like, all right, which one?
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. One of the things that I do want to say about um, uh, network marketing, and a lot of people sadly don't understand this, and I was one of those people, is
Hmm.
that residual incomes work. The business does work. Now there are about 12 main uh, types of compensation plans. Um,
Hmm.
I've looked at them, and some of them are. I have to admit, I looked at one. I was like, "What?"
Well,
But
I
I mean,
tell you what,
the
and I don't mean to cut you
binary. I
off. I
like
just want to make
binary.
sure.
Binary. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, yeah. I want to make sure that we don't get so far into the weeds that folks just like, okay, I don't get it. I don't understand.
Oh no, we're not doing that.
You're right. but what I do want to say is that um, there are some structures that are available to people right now.
Absolutely.
And when you talk about residual income and you look at just the structures that are set up just in regular everyday business, I'm talking about from grocery stores to multinational corporations and all of that.
Hmm.
You see a few things in place that do not benefit the individual that works there.
Absolutely.
For one,
That's where
that
I was going with it.
yeah, that individual could never make more than the president of the company. Just couldn't
Never,
couldn't happen.
never, because that's the pyramid scheme.
Oh yeah,
That's the
you
pyramid
know,
scheme.
that's the
There's
pyramid.
a boss on the top, and you are down in there somewhere, and
Mm-hmm,
you can outwork him in man
mm-hmm,
hours, and you
mm-hmm,
will never ever
mm-hmm.
get more money. You will not out earn him.
Right.
And so with network marketing and the residual income space, you it levels the playing field.
Mm-hmm,
You can, I mean, when I came in, the person that brought me in, I outrank her.
mm-hmm.
And it happened,
And that comes down to
it
yeah,
happened in about a little less than 2 months.
yeah. So then that comes down to how you connect with your network, how you connect, how much value do you add to the lives of those around you that you meet, that you come across?
Yeah,
Can you provide a solution that is workable for them? And if so, then you end up earning that business, which is great. I love that about business models that is based on what you yourself can do and who it is that gets it. They understand it. They say, you know what? I've got things that I can just simply, instead of going somewhere else to get it, I can get it from myself. I think that is probably the smartest business model that I've ever heard of. Buy from yourself and teach other people how to buy from themselves. You know, hands down.
yeah,
So I want to thank you. We're going to start to wrap this
yeah.
because we got to come back for our part two.
Uh-uh.
And, and I want to dive a little bit more in on just who you are, like more of your background and all that, because I think what happens is that folks tend to think that in order to own an enterprise, you have to be a special person that is like you're just sales, and and it really couldn't be farther from the truth. I mean, and quite frankly, like you said earlier, we're all salespeople because in order for us to go through life, we have to be able to see something and
Mm,
to communicate with people in order to transact, whether it be business or an idea. If you want to get your kids to do something, you got to be a salesperson. If your kids want to get you to do something, they got to be salespeople, and kids are natural salespeople.
oh,
I
natural.
tell my kids no a number of times, and they will come at me from all different angles until they get their yes. And I encourage that. So you've got to look at it from that standpoint, is that it's not that you're not a salesperson, it's that you have the wrong idea of what sales actually is.
That's it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I did want to say this, that in this space, I have learned that this is a personal development program with a comp plan attached to it.
I
Because
like that.
you will get to spaces where you have to be molded, trained,
Mhm.
and just taught how to,
Mhm.
because you just don't know
Right.
in order for you to be successful.
Hmm.
And you
Hmm.
have a whole team of people willing to help you for
Hmm.
free
Yes.
because they know when you succeed, then they'll succeed.
Hmm.
So why would they not want to help you?
Exactly.
And you may not even be financially linked to them. And some of the people they're not even on the same upline, downline, or whatever they call
Hmm.
it. And they're still willing to help you.
Hmm.
Try
Hmm.
to do that in corporate.
True. True
That's
story.
not gonna happen.
Exactly.
That's not gonna happen.
Well, Nabia, I appreciate you coming on for part one of this conversation. Stay tuned. We'll be back for part two. I am D. Jason Hodge, and you can reach me, inbox me if you have any questions. Go ahead and PM me. If you've got any questions, you can PM Nabia as well. You can go to facebook.com/catch your life, and that's CATCHYOLIFE. And then you'll be right on her page and interact with her. And we'll be back for part two, just talking about home-based business. And then we're going to dive a little bit deeper into who Nabia is, like how she, her background, because you need to understand that it does not matter what your background is. All it matters is that, you have things that you buy from other people, other stores or enterprises that you could be buying from yourself, and then you keep the money as opposed to giving it. It's kind of like, why would you give all of your money away in taxes when you can just use the existing tax code in order to keep your money and still get your things? It's like a no-brainer, but I think a lot of people have a hard time wrapping their minds around that
Yeah,
concept.
they do.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
because you've
taught.
been so taught that this is it. And actually, we'll talk about this, the educational system and what they removed from that core
Mm,
of information that used to be in there, but how I believe it was Rockefeller who said, "Now we need to get rid of this because we don't need thinkers, we need workers." That's in your education system. They are training you to be workers because they removed a very critical piece, which comes down to financial literacy, how things work when it comes to money. All
yeah.
right. So, on that note, we'll be back after this. You have a great one. Make sure that you pop on over to facebook.com/catch your life.
Catch your life.
CHYOLIFE. Inbox me. Let me know what it is that you want to learn about, what you want to discover, what you want me to who you want me to interview, the topics that you want to see in this 100 video run. All right. Catch you in a moment.